I'm sitting down with Nico Panageo before the premiere of Confetti. Nico, thank you for taking the time to sit down with me.
It's my sincere pleasure to be sitting down here with you.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that. You're here for the premiere of Confetti, so premieres are always very exciting. Are you excited for tonight?
I am. I'm very much so. You know, one isn't always necessarily excited, especially if you know what's coming. This time I know what's coming and I'm excited, so that's a good combination to have. And I mean, premieres are a small, tiny little speck in the journey of making a film, but it certainly is just a moment in time to stop and smell the roses a little, you know, and especially for the guys that have been involved with the project for a long time, like Lo and Zahir and a few other people. And it's really just a chance to get together and just reflect on what we've done. We've created something, and there it is, you know, and now it's, you know, we're handing it over. Mostly, for the most part, we're handing it over to the audience, and what they do with it is literally indeterminable at this point.
That must be nerve-wracking for you.
It is.
Are you nervous?
I'm always nervous.
No, I don't
I
believe
hide
that.
it well. You know, been in the business long enough to know how to hide the nerves. You won't see it. But I think we're always nervous. You know, it's whatever medium you're working on, you're putting your work out there. You're putting your creation out there, and you're expecting a certain response, and you're hoping for, obviously, for a positive response. You want things to happen. You want things to happen organically as well. You know, one can do a lot with marketing. You can do a lot with word of mouth, but you know, bottom line is, in the end, it takes a life of its own now. This is where the seed is now planted, and it must grow, and we hope that it grows into an incredible tree, an enormous, massive mustard tree.
My fingers are crossed for you. So let's talk about your role in the movie. You play Jean.
Yeah.
Tell me about him.
Jean is, I suppose the best way to describe him is quite a self-involved character. Not self-obsessed necessarily, certainly not narcissistic, but self-involved. His life is mostly about him and the people in his world. You know, he comes first, and everything else second. He lives according to a very strictly measured plan, one I think that's determined by society rather than an organic following of his passion. So I think he's very good at what he does, and everything he attempts, he does well. But it doesn't mean that he's followed his passion necessarily. So he's done what he thinks society expects of him. He behaves in a way that he thinks is expected of a person of his stature, because he's quite successful, and he marries the girl he thinks he should marry, or you know, at least society dictates that he should marry this kind of person, and so that's the kind of person he's gone with. That's the kind of job he's gone with, and this is the kind of car he drives. So someone who is, I think, at a point in his life, and that's the good thing about weddings. You get to a wedding, and it's quite an incredible experience. Any wedding, any real wedding is an emotional journey for everyone who goes.
Weddings are,
people are emotional. They haven't seen each other for a long time. If it's family members, many of them may not like each other. Everyone's quite emotional because it's this beautiful day. People are reflecting on their own lives. People that are married are going, wow, it's been amazing, or it's been terrible, or I wish you know, people who aren't married go, oh man, I hope it happens for me. So you've got those emotions going on. People are just, you know, it's an emotional time. So it's a breeding ground of all kinds of adversity, and of course a great playing field for anyone making a romantic comedy, or any comedy really, and of course we exploit that to the full, and that's really what happens. Is we find ourselves at the, you know, on the wedding day, and characters, and Lo's character, he's my best man. He plays Lucas. And the two of them are great. They're best friends. I mean, they love each other to bits. They've done everything for each other. It's bros first, and you know, everything else comes afterwards. That does not mean though that they don't have a bit of you know, rubbing each other up the wrong way and clashing, and obviously resentment as well. That's what often happens with best friends, is they compete all the way through life, and it's very much the case for them. So I think his journey is one of because he comes face to face for various reasons with the fact that he's getting married today, and he has to decide whether or not this is the right thing, which I think often happens. Thankfully, that never happened to me. I got married. I wanted to run up that aisle and grab my wife and get it happening, you know. But many people stand in front of that church in front of the pew or wherever it is in the court, and they're not 100% sure what they're doing.
What's the strangest thing that's ever happened to you at
me?
a wedding, or that you've witnessed?
That I've witnessed at a wedding.
Yeah.
Honestly, It's not something I could tell on camera. But you know who you were, dude, with the ears and girl who was getting married, and you were with the guy that wasn't your husband. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I haven't never seen that ever happen. That is strictly in our imagination. But I have heard and seen some strange things take place in the reception when people are drinking too much, because that also happens at weddings, because people tend to drink a little because it's free. Everyone's freaked out because the stuff, am I dressed well? Is and so they drink a little bit more to get comfortable, a little bit more to get more comfortable because to speak easily, and then a little bit more because the seat's a bit, and eventually people are just drinking for the wrong reasons, and that also leads to disasters.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, and I hope you enjoy the premiere.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful. I hope you enjoy the premiere. I know what's coming.
You know what's coming.
Like it. Okay.